So I was using Pub Crusher. So if I'm brewing an English ale, I'll typically use that yeast, but I don't brew an English ale every 2 weeks. So what happens when my ESB is done and the next English ale, I don't have another English ale on the calendar for another month? What do I do with that yeast?
You can store it in a keg.
For a month?
Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I mean, we can test viability, but
You have to suspend it. You have to suspend it in a by the milliliter in a solution, but you can keep it.
Okay. Because we'll keep it in a keg for we'll keep it in a brink or a keg for 1 or 2 weeks, but a month is like
you have to dilute it seriously.
With
dilute it seriously into where there's no food in, but it's not dying.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
All right, so we're getting some great feedback from listeners. We have some listeners. Apparently, some listeners are playing. They're drinking a beer every time Mike drops an F-bomb, and they're having a lot of fun.
They've had
got a couple listeners that are asking.
Channing's giving us the count.
Yeah. And a couple listeners are asking what yeast is. Who wants to explain what yeast is?
You ever had an infection? So actually,
Take a swab on that thing.
Yeast is the fourth ingredient to beer. There was only 3 ingredients in the original Reinheitsgebot, which was probably the first.
Isn't it what makes
the first laws
beer?
that were ever passed on beer? Were of course the Germans, right? They're like, you must make beer like this. Not that they're into structure or anything, but yeast wasn't among the original ingredients, right? So they just put all this stuff together and laid it out and said, please, God, give us beer.
I don't know anything about that.
They make it in the same wooden pail or whatever.
That, right? And you would get pollen, wild pollens over years. You get the Belgians, they say some of their breweries have cobwebs in the corners that are so full of
probably the most famous brewery in the world.
Yeah,
If they clean it, their beer tastes different. Yeah.
And they're like, no, we don't add that. We just throw it in that vat, and it comes out like this, right?
You think you're trendy like in sour beers, and 90% of beer used to be sour.
Yeah, we've been doing this for 1,000 years, and we still don't know how it works.
Old man yells at cloud.
Yeah. You just wait around long enough, that trend comes back.
So I can't help but look at your button because it's so colorful.
Oh,
and I love it. So I want to hear. I know that you guys have been really making a splash in some of the laws and the legislation for beer and advocating for beer to go, especially with craft pack. Oh, can I have one
more?
Here?
Well played, Sylvia.
Oh no!
There you go. You only have one.
Did you bring enough for everyone?
Well, I just happen to have one on me. Okay.
Yeah. So I want to hear.
No. I'm not.
So I want to hear a little bit about your, why you're wearing one. I know this is very. Yes, I want to hear a little bit about why you're wearing it today. I believe in the cause and exactly what we're doing. So
read his blog too, by the way. His blog's awesome.
Right. I'm blind.
Yeah, we have a blog. It's like a lot of ranting, and there's a lot of it about the beer, about the history of beer laws, and particularly beer laws in Texas. Yeah, they suck.
Well, they're antiquated, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, they're antiquated is a nice way to put it.
Now, you all are probably a brew pub, right? Because you all started after 2013,
Well,
right?
the problem is, no, we're a brewery.
You're a production brewery. Okay,
and the reason is that in Houston, there's a city ordinance that if you're a brew pub, you're a bar. If you're a brew pub,
third tier versus first tier.
Yeah, and if you're a bar, you need to be at least 1,000 feet from a school. And if you're a brewery, you do not. You need to be 300 feet.
300 feet.
Right.
And,
and a church. Schools and churches, right? I think.
Yeah, 300 feet. But the 1,000 feet rule is only for schools.
Okay.
So we are like 999.999 feet from a school. So we opened. We got the lease, and we knew that was we knew that the law, and that we weren't going to be a brew pub. Although, if you were to walk into our place and look at our place,
that's what you'd think.
It looks like, and then you walk into like Eureka Heights, you'd be like, okay, Eureka Heights is the brewery and Holler is the brew pub. Well, no, actually, to those of you out there who never heard of these terms, let me just tell you, they don't mean what you think they mean.
Well, it all changed in 2013. I mean, because a brew pub used to be a restaurant that brewed a little bit on site, but the beer never left. It could never leave. Then once the law changed, where a brew pub could send beer out, really the difference between a production brewery and a brew pub is very little.
Yeah.
But now knowing that you're a production brewery, I definitely know why you're in favor of the craft pack.
Yeah,
and why.
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, and for those listening, just picture the entire country green, Texas red. Stop. There's laws in Texas that are so that are so negative towards production breweries that Texas is the only state that actually has those laws.
Yeah, that's right.
They're still actually against both the brew pubs and the breweries.
But production breweries actually, I would argue
we got hit the hardest.
Yeah, I would argue it's a little. Yeah, and then you got the whole distribution thing with it's and even the. There's a special self-distribution license you have to do. Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
It sucks. The laws really fucking suck. And
everybody drink, right?
Yeah. So
cheers.
Cheers.
No, I'll drink that too.
Mm-hmm.
So we're doing what we can since we have,
delicious.
to be honest, I mean, clearly we have an interest.
Delicious.
So it's worth our while to do what we can to help other breweries.
This is a righteous brown ale.
Yeah, it's great. Great job, Channing.
Thanks. Thank you.
So we've done. We've done. So Craft Pack is the organization. They started the Craft Brewers Guild started an organization in January of this year called Craft Pack, which is a political action committee that can actually start, because the distributors are paying off your representatives, and
distributors have all the money.
They got all the money.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Craft Pack's trying to pay off your representatives too, and actually get them to listen to us. And it's so far it's been working pretty well. We
just got to get those distributors to get those beers out.
What do you mean?
Just seems like there's lag time anytime.
Oh, that's a whole nother. That's a whole nother. Yeah, that's a whole nother story.
Right?
Yeah,
Someone signs with someone. It's like
we don't do. Yeah,
you
we don't do that shit. Yeah,
exactly.
Do that as long as you can.
I'll do something else if we have to do that. I mean, you're basically giving your brewery to.
All right, so people are asking, what does this button say? It says Beer to Go 2019 Craft Pack, and what that's probably referring to is the ability of production breweries. For people can walk into a brew pub and leave with beer. They can't do that at a production brewery.
That's right. So production breweries like
and
St.
Texas
Arnold
is the only state in the country where you can't do that.
It's like St. Arnold, Eighth Wonder, Buffalo Bayou, Southern Star. Most of the big breweries are production breweries. You notice you cannot buy beer to go. You cannot take a 6-pack home, which is crazy.
Yeah, the state of Texas would rather you drink on site and then leave.
Yeah, drive home.
Yeah, then instead
home.
of going there and buying beer, and leaving, and just imagine what that could do for the tourism. For tourists, they come here. Tourists come here. They go to these different breweries in town. They want to take some beer to go back home with them. Which
that's what you do. That's what everyone does.
That's what I do anytime I travel. That's what everybody I know that drinks beer does when they travel.
Colorado.
Sylvia crosses the border into Louisiana.
Hey, shh.
Grabs a bunch of eastbound and down.
That's all right.
Load up and truck. We gonna do.
So 2019 is the next. Yeah, Texas has a legislative session every 2 years. 2019 is the next session, and we're pushing hard to get a bill passed that will change the law. And it's a very simple bill. The law currently says blah 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 on premises, blah 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 on premises, and it changes that to on or off premises, meaning that you can. Brewery can sell on or off, sell for
or off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's or off is the key part of that, and
It shall be known as the blah 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 order.
yes.
That's excellent.
But what's funny is that was back it was probably literally 2009. The big push was for this is before they even changed what a brew pub was to allow people to go to St. Arnold's and leave with some beer. And then, you could argue we took steps forward. Brew pubs became, they had all kinds of flexibility. Even production breweries could sell on site, which was huge. That was a game changer too. Mm-hmm. But still, you can't buy beer at a production brewery and take it with you, which was originally what we were fighting for. Back.
I think Brock's Wagner said it was in the early 2000s.
Yeah,
when
yeah,
first
it was.
had
Yeah.
a 6-pack bill.
Yeah,
it was like you could take 1 6-pack a month or something really.
Yeah, that
small.
was the attempt. Yeah, I remember there's even back when David Dewhurst was I think the lieutenant governor, he kind of pulled it out.
Yeah,
there's
he's a piece of crap.
There's were scenarios, really sketchy
John Whitmire.
scenarios.
Okay, we can hash these laws all day, all night. We really could, but
we got to take a break.
We'll be right back because we've still got to do a quiz.
Audio quiz, world famous audio quiz.
And we've got to find out some secrets about Holler.
The Galactic Guys. Watch us on Facebook Live and YouTube. And don't forget to tell us how pretty we look. It's what your mother would want. And no one knows your mom like the Galactic Guys. Go to vinyldraftradio.com.
What would you like from your bank or credit union? How about a mobile app that makes banking simple? How about free online banking and mobile bill pay? How about loan decisions made locally? How about 15 convenient locations? Associated Credit Union of Texas has all of these and more. Sounds like you should get associated. ACU of Texas, federally insured by the NCUA. For more info, visit acutx.org.
If you have a vehicle registered in Texas, you can join artists like Lyle Lovett, Pat Green, Randy Rogers, and more when you purchase a Texas Music license plate from the Texas DMV. $22 out of the $30 fee goes directly towards the Texas Music Office, which funds music lessons and instruments for under-resourced school children, as well as towards funding live music and community music programs all around the state. Just head to texasmusicoffice.com or the Texas DMV for more info on how to order your Texas Music specialty license plate.
Good people of Texas, cast aside the everyday and come as thou art not to the Texas Renaissance Festival. Feast and frolic amongst nobility, barbarians, and magical creatures. Create your own fantasy with clothing, jewelry, and more from hundreds of one-of-a-kind shops.
The Texas Renaissance Festival. 9 weekends of feasting and merriment starting September 29th. Get your tickets now at texrenfest.com.
Huzzah!
Do you ever wonder how every single insurance company boasts about having the best rates for you? With so many companies, how is it possible that they all can have the best rates? Well, the reality is they're all telling the truth, kind of. You see, each insurance company has a target set of customers that they're looking for, so each company will have the best rates for someone. The challenge is finding the one that likes you the most. Perfect Policy evaluates you through more companies than any other insurance agent, and that's how they find the best policy for you. Contact Perfect Policy today.
Chuck's Sports Bar and Memorabilia in Leaf City is exactly what you picture a hometown bar to be. Watch the game with friends, great food, great drinks, and a friendly staff. Chuck's is also the home of celebrity bartender nights, open mic nights with Robert Del Toro, karaoke nights, and more. Chuck's is located at 601 East Main in Old League City, Tuesday through Thursday from 4 to 11 p.m. and Friday and Saturday from 4 to 1 a.m. Call 832-632-1325 or find them on Facebook, Chuck's Sports Bar, League City.
One of them just threw up in the men's room.
That's gross.
We're back to the Galactic Guys and the Galactic Coast Power Hour on Vinyl Draft Radio.
Whatever this audio challenge is.
That's right. We're back with the Galactic Coast Power Hour, and we're about to do the world-famous Galactic Coast audio quiz. So last week we played the first ever Aliens Visiting Earth audio quiz. And this week we've turned up the volume for a special themed audio quiz for a guest from Holler Brewing. And we're gonna give So we're gonna play a series of audio clues. I've limited the pool to parts of songs, movies, or TV shows. These are all tied into your brand in one way or another. Hey, so what's that on your shirt? What is that? What's that? Is that a?
It's a megaphone.
Think about hint megaphone. Okay.
All right.
So on the Galactic Coast Power Hour degree difficulty scale from 1 to 10, I'd give this about a 4 or 5. There might be a few clips where the title is hard to pull, but the actors aren't. So you might recognize some voices. So if you recognize, the movie, the song, the musical artist, or the actor, any of that works, right?
We just jump in and
just as soon as And overall, this is easier than some recent quizzes we've had in the show, but harder than others.
And I just right down the middle.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, and remember,
we thought you were average people.
You got us.
So this is what we did for you.
Remember,
you're ready to divide.
You
said you were good at dividing.
There's very little pressure because no one will ever do worse than Josh and Alexander from Saloon Door, dude. No, we pick on them out of love, and because that was hilariously horrible.
It was ridiculous.
It was pretty funny. It's classic. Yeah, that was all right. So usually I start out with an easy one, but this time I just felt this first one. I just wanted this one to. This is gonna be the first one. I'm not sure.
Up to you so
all right, so here we go. You can artist, song. The song has some.
This is nothing I would listen
TLC.
to. Wait, no way.
Close.
Destiny's Child.
Close. All right, we're gonna. Okay, that's okay. That was kind of tough. That was the Spice Girls. Holler.
Oh, that was Spice Girls.
Spice Girls. Holler.
They're making a comeback.
That
too.
was.
I'm proud I didn't know.